Welcome to my unfiltered life. Today I'm going to be talking about the Grand Canyon, so I'm going to bring things back down to earth. We're not in outer space, and in case you're wondering about my thumbnail, which is a public domain picture from the national park of the Grand Canyon National Park, and it looks like it's on the background of my space thing that I created. It's because in the end, this channel is like our own little universe. So that's my cheap excuse as to why I don't have a different type of background, in case you were wondering that. So the Grand Canyon. Going to have some links down below in the description box to credit where I'm getting this information for the sake of reference. Grand Canyon's in Arizona, in the United States, in the northern sort of center area. I don't exactly have the coordinates. I don't want to get that technical on my channel. Don't forget that I am not a professor. I never finished high school. I am simply an enthusiast, somebody that loves to learn. And these are not lectures. These are basically a learn with me. 90% of what I am going to tell you here today, I did not know an hour ago. I could be fully transparent about that. I don't need to pretend to be an all-knowing being, okay? So there it is. That's where it is. Then we have the different rock formations that make up the canyon. We'll reference that picture in a bit. This is from the official Flickr account of the Grand Canyon National Park. Pictures, my goodness, it helps if I could speak properly. So these are public domain, so I'm giving them credit. I'm stating that, and I will have, again, like I said, a link so that we can take a look at these pictures. And the last thing I wanted to show you, not to make fun of them, but if you look at the pictures, yeah, they look pretty good. But this random website that I came across just had some really, oh yeah, a lot more clouds. I don't know, the pictures, look at that, just looks more dramatic. This actually looks like one of the scenes from Red Dead Redemption 2. It just looks really, really nice, but I can't really show you that too much, even though I kind of already did. So let's look at this really quick and and as I've said before, very transparent, I got notes. I'm not trying to hide that. You think I actually have all of this memorized? Plus, it'll look pretty obvious too, because as I'm talking to you, and I'm all like, it's going to be obvious anyways that I'm reading some of my own notes here that I've taken down. So the Grand Canyon formed as the Colorado River eroded the land while deep tectonic forces inside the earth slowly lifted the Colorado Plateau, with wind, rain, and ice shaping the canyon over millions of years. So again, this is like the entire ground, if you will, like everything about it would just like literally rise over millions of years. And as it would rise, if it started here and it would go up, water would slowly erode away at the rocks. Quite often, most of the time, actually past the point of where it had originated from to begin with. It stretches roughly 277 miles, which for my Canadian fellows here is 446 kilometers. It's about 18 miles wide / 29 kilometers wide. Over a mile deep, so 6,000 feet or 1,857 meters. The carving, let's get back to that thing here, you know, the carving, exposed rock layers from almost 2 billion years ago, basically a vertical timeline of Earth from ancient seas to desert environments. And naturally, because it's made up of multiple different types of rocks, they'll erode at different rates and in different shapes, okay? So layered with multiple different types of rocks, each rock type erodes at a different rate. There you go. And hard rocks like limestone and sandstone resisted erosion, so you'll get the steep walls. Softer rocks like shale eroded faster, so you'll get ledges and slopes. Sediment in a river acted like sandpaper. Cracks let water and ice pry things apart. If it were limestone only, you'd likely see wider, smoother slopes, more rounded shapes, fewer sharp vertical walls. Okay? And because it's so deep, never mind this now. Let's take a look at some of these beautiful pictures so you're not just stuck staring at my pumpkin head here. Because it's so deep, the canyon actually has multiple climates stacked on top of each other, different plants and animals, depending on the elevation. Like that to me is wild. So you could have, you know, something here, something different there, something different totally up here. I just find that really fascinating, and it does remind me, and I hope I don't misquote this. I'll probably have a video on this at some point. So anything I say, take it with a small grain of sand, half a grain of sand. You've never heard that expression before. When we talk about the rainforest and how dense it is and all that, oftentimes within its own little thing going on, you can have a tree with very unique species of bugs and stuff and subspecies of stuff and plants and bees and whatnot and birds that you will not find anywhere else but on that tree. Or maybe not literally that one tree, but in a very small cluster. That sort of stuff I find absolutely mind-blowing. It's not like you just go into a forest and you'll see, 5 or 6 different trees, 17 different types of birds, and that's it. This is very specific to that very spot. And that's another reason why it's so devastating, a little off topic on topic, when you have the annihilation of the rainforest. Those species that used to live there, they're gone forever. Okay? Now, not to be so dramatic, let's get back to this here. Because it's so deep, Kenya actually, I've already spoken about that. People lived here long before it was a national park. Native American tribes have inhabited and respected this area for thousands of years, and it's still spiritually significant today. As a matter of fact, because of that other website I showed you, which I might go back to, I think there is still a tribe that you actually pay money to as an admission fee if you want to go on one of the trails that are there. And it's separate from the Grand Canyon National Park. So that's why I wanted to have you take a look at that website if you wanted to, because I felt like it just gave you a little bit more insight. This was supposed to be just like a very basic thing. The Grand Canyon, I said, isn't impressive just because it's visually stunning. It's impressive because it exposes almost half of Earth's history in one place. The rocks are almost 2 billion years old, but the canyon itself is geologically young. Earth spent most of its time setting the stage and only recently let gravity and water take over. Right? Like, to me, that's just boom. And this is what I mean by that. Like, once all this stuff gets exposed here, everything that you just see, like I said, would be from like billions of years ago. That's absolutely nuts. And I don't know that there's a lot of other areas in the world that are actually like that. And I don't really have much else to say. Just a couple pictures, whatever. I'm probably going to copyright strike now. Talks about the different trails and whatnot. But I did want to... There we go. See? Right here. For example, the entrance fee to Grand Canyon West, if you want to do the West Rim, is administered by the Hualapai tribe, if I pronunciated that correctly. I'm French, so whatever. And it's separate from the National Park Pass entrance fee. So it's not just them that are charging. I don't know all about the fees and stuff like that. Like I said, there's a lot of... this is more like if you're almost like seriously contemplating doing one of the trails. Even I know about Bright Angel Trail. I think it's one of the more popular trails, perhaps. But I've seen quite a bit of footage on it before. It shows you elevations and all that sort of stuff. I just think it was a nice little website that I saw. So yeah, other than that, I really don't have anything else to add. Because like I said, up until a few hours ago, I wasn't entirely sure about most of this information. And now I feel like I'm slightly more educated. And that is the whole part. Like I said, that's the sort of like learn with me. Because there's a good chance you may have already have known this, but then if you already did, you may not have clicked on the video, but you never know. And I'm sure that there could be people that come in and could tell me hundreds of other things, cool facts about the Grand Canyon that I have no idea. And that's okay. Because even in instances where that happens, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'll be tempted necessarily to do like a part 2. But if that ever did happen, then of course I would change my thumbnail. I would change the title to, like part 1. And then obviously that insinuates that there could be a part 2, a continuation. Or if I'm just speaking about one specific thing, like why is the top of all the plateaus fairly flat and they're not pointing like mountains, for example. Exactly. I could probably practically make a video just on that alone type thing. Anyhow, thumbs up as always if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up online. You didn't like the video? That's fine. Go ahead. Give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half and I'll twist it. All just joking around. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you. My camera's reversed. See some of you in the next one. Bye for now.